Have you ever wondered how people actually know they're getting richer? Not just in the obvious sense of making more money, but in the subtle ways wealth builds in the background? The truth is, wealth often doesn't announce itself loudly. Instead, it shows up in small shifts in how you live, think, and manage your money. These changes are so subtle that most people don't even notice them until years later when the results become clear. Getting richer isn't always about a big salary jump or some overnight success. Often it's about daily habits that compound over time, slowly pushing you out of financial struggle and into financial stability. The good news is you might already be on that path without realizing it. Today, I want to share the habits and subtle shifts that whisper you're getting richer every day. One of the first signs is that your money no longer feels like it disappears the moment it comes in. In the early stages of building wealth, every dollar has a destination: rent, food, bills, and debt. But when you start to notice that some of your money consistently stays behind, that's the whisper of wealth. Even if it's just a few dollars or a small percentage of your income, it signals that you're no longer living paycheck to paycheck. Instead, your money is beginning to work for you rather than just flowing through you. Another habit that signals you're getting richer is when you automatically think in terms of value instead of price. In the past, you might have judged everything by its upfront cost. How much does it cost right now? But once you start building wealth, you naturally shift to asking, how long will this last? Or what return will this bring me over time? It's a subtle but powerful change. You begin seeing purchases as investments, whether it's in tools, skills, relationships, or even your health. That mindset doesn't just save money, it multiplies it. You'll also know you're getting richer when financial stress starts to lose its grip on your daily life. It doesn't mean you never think about money, but the constant anxiety of what if something goes wrong tomorrow begins to fade. This is usually because you've built even a small emergency fund, paid down some debt, or created a little buffer that gives you breathing room. That sense of calm is a quiet but powerful signal. You're moving from survival mode to stability. Another subtle shift is how you view time. At first, most people trade time directly for money, and every free hour feels like it has to be monetized. But as your wealth grows, you start to see time differently. You value rest, learning, and strategic thinking more because you know that not all progress is tied to working more hours. Instead, you realize that setting systems, investing, and letting money compound can earn for you even when you're not working. That's a shift from a worker's mindset to an investor's mindset. Your conversations also change. Instead of constantly talking about salaries, promotions, or expenses, you start discussing ideas, opportunities, and long-term goals. It's not that money disappears from your conversations, it just takes a different shape. You might talk more about investments, side projects, or ways to increase skills rather than just how to cut costs. This change in dialogue reflects a deeper financial confidence and focus on growth. You'll also notice that your relationship with debt changes. At one point, debt might have felt normal, even necessary to survive. But as you build wealth, you either eliminate toxic debt or only use it strategically. For example, you stop carrying balances on high-interest credit cards and instead use credit to your advantage, such as for business, real estate, or rewards that don't hurt you financially. The shift from debt being a burden to being a tool is a clear marker of moving into a richer mindset. Another habit that quietly signals you're getting richer is when savings and investing become automatic. At first, putting money aside feels painful. You notice every dollar leaving your account. But over time, it becomes second nature. You don't even think about it anymore because it's built into your system. That automation is one of the clearest signs of financial maturity. And it accelerates wealth far more than trying to manually save when you can. Your tolerance for patience also grows. In the past, you might have expected quick results, wanting money to grow overnight or expecting instant rewards for effort. But wealth teaches you that the big gains come slowly and quietly. You start to value steady progress over flashy wins, and that mindset is exactly what compounding rewards. Patience, once difficult, becomes a natural part of how you approach money and life. Lifestyle upgrades start looking different too. Instead of flashy purchases or one-time splurges, you find yourself drawn to improvements that actually make your life easier, healthier, or more sustainable. Maybe you invest in a better mattress, healthier food, or education. Your tolerance for patience also grows. In the past, you might have expected quick results, wanting money to grow overnight or expecting instant rewards for effort. But wealth teaches you that the big gains come slowly and quietly. You start to value steady progress over flashy wins, and that mindset is exactly what compounding rewards. Patience, once difficult, becomes a natural part of how you approach money in life. Another signal is when financial opportunities start finding you instead of you constantly chasing them. As your habits improve, your reputation builds, and people start offering you chances to invest, partner, or collaborate. These opportunities may seem small at first, but they're usually signs that others trust your discipline and see you as someone moving upward. Wealth attracts more wealth, but it starts quietly with simple, consistent habits. You will also recognize you're getting richer when setbacks don't wipe you out anymore. Early on, a car repair or medical bill might have felt like a financial disaster, but over time, as you build a cushion, these challenges become manageable. You handle them and keep moving forward without losing momentum. Even your social circle shifts subtly. You find yourself naturally spending more time with people who think about growth, stability, and long-term planning rather than constant consumption. It's not about cutting people off. It's about aligning with those who share your values. And this environment reinforces your wealth-building habits without you even realizing it. Eventually, you start noticing that your money grows even when you're not actively adding much to it. Maybe your investments start producing dividends, interest, or rental income. At first, the amounts might seem small, but the principle is what matters. Your money is no longer idle, it's working for you. That quiet shift is the foundation of financial independence. And perhaps the most important subtle sign, you begin thinking in decades instead of days. Decisions stop being about instant gratification and instead revolve around how will this impact me in 5, 10, or 20 years? That long-term perspective doesn't just grow wealth. It protects it. It turns every choice into a building block for a bigger future. So if you're wondering whether you're getting richer, don't just look at your bank balance. Pay attention to these habits and shifts. If you notice them happening in your life, even gradually, it means you're already on the path. Wealth is rarely about one big event. It's the quiet accumulation of small, consistent choices that compound over time. The truth is, the people who feel rich every day aren't necessarily the ones with the most money in their account right now. They're the ones who know their habits are leading them somewhere bigger, even if they can't see the full picture yet. That confidence, that patience, and that steady discipline, that's what tells you you're getting richer every day. And once you recognize these whispers in your own life, the only question left is whether you'll keep going. Because wealth doesn't arrive all at once. It sneaks up on you slowly until one day you realize it's no longer a goal, it's simply the way you live. That's when saving no longer feels like sacrifice, but second nature. That's when investing doesn't feel like risk, but opportunity. That's when your daily choices aren't driven by instant gratification, but by the bigger picture you've built in your mind. These shifts happen quietly, almost invisibly, until they define who you are. And the best part is, these habits compound, not just in your bank account, but in your identity. Every small step you take reinforces the belief that you are the kind of person who builds wealth, the kind of person who doesn't stop halfway, and the kind of person whose future will always be brighter than their past. That mindset alone is the clearest sign you're getting richer every single day.